Hey everybody, Gary here with Pow Music. I hope you enjoyed that playthrough of Move On Up by Mayfield. So we're about to get into the lesson segment, but it kind of picks up in the middle of nowhere because this is actually an excerpt of a larger lesson on 8 classic 7th chord progressions. So if you want to see that full compilation video, links in the description. And if you want to download the tab to go along with this song and all those songs, that's on my Patreon page, also linked in the description. All right, let's get into the lesson. So Move On Up is awesome because the rhythm of it makes it totally cool that it's the same 4 chords over and over, because the rhythm just keeps it exciting. So we play on the 3 and the end of 4 like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the first thing you want to make sure you have down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 4. Once you have that, you know, then it's a matter of getting that 16th note, you know, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. First thing you want to do is get that rhythm, and then you want to mix up the mutes with the letting the chord ring out. So, you know, and I'm muting the strings to get that percussive sound, but I'm holding the chord. So if I hold the chord and I play it and then just lift up pressure, I get that mute, right? So, and I create rhythms just by deciding when to mute and when to press. But I keep that going, right? I like to get the, you know, da 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 on the record. I think they do more of like a, you know, kind of let it ring out more, but there's, the whole band is really funky. As solo guitar, or in a more sparse, you know, because there's the horn section there and everything, I try to incorporate the whole vibe of the song a little bit more. So we could analyze the chord progression in 2 different ways. If we analyze it thinking of the relative major key, D major, and just relating all the chord numbers back to the relative major, then it's as I explained it, 3, 2, 5, 6. But if we analyze it as if B minor is the tonic, which truly it is, then we have 5 minor, 4 minor, flat 7 major, 1 minor. So you'll see it 2 different ways. In the compilation video, I related everything back to the relative major to go along with a unit in my fretLIVE fretboard mastery program. But you want to be able to analyze minor chord progressions in terms of both the minor as the tonic and the relative major as the tonic. So there's a really great version of this by the Delvin Lamar Trio, organ trio, and it's awesome. It's just 3 people, so it's really, really great. The guitar player is super funky, and he starts out with a little B minor, and then he goes, it's like a little intro. And he's just playing B minor pentatonic. You know, taking the B minor scale and adding these little double stop flams where we just play 2 strings together, and then the one closest to your nose, toes to nose, you do a hammer while the other one rings out. very cool kind of Hendrixy thing to do. And then he adds to the chord another flat 7, right? Because here's the flat 7. Replaces this 5th with a flat 7. And he really just does that in the intro. Great progression. And you know, if you're just starting out, you could just do, you don't need to do the super funky fast strumming. You could just go, you could just go. You know, that works too. So that's eighth notes, you know, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you can still get those hits, but instead of it's same tempo, I'm just playing eighth notes. You know, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1. And now I'll do 16th notes. You know, it just gives it more of a, I don't know, energetic, but in some ways even more kind of manic sound with the 16th notes. So knock yourself out with more eighth notes. Still sounds totally dope. All right, last but not least, we have best part. Oh, such a beauty. So this kind of funky strumming is actually the last workout and the last lesson and unit in my Super Strummer course. We start with the very beginning of strumming technique, and there's all these very simple guided strumming workouts that get progressively more difficult and faster, culminating in funky syncopated strumming similar to this on Use Me. So if you want to kind of take a step back and start from the beginning and the fundamentals, check out the Super Strummer course. I'll link that in the description with a discount code. Now, the reason why I made this video was to go along with Unit 10 in my fretLIVE Fretboard Mastery program, which is on 7th chords. It's a 12-unit course that shows you how music works on the fretboard. We start with the very foundations of music theory, the chromatic scale, the 12 notes we have, thinking of those notes as intervals, using those intervals to create scales and chords, and each step of the way there's a creative challenge and a song learning assignment, so with each unit you could apply what you learn to actually create music and see how it works. Now, even though most of the content is pre-recorded fretLIVE videos, there's quizzes, there's PDFs, and there's weekly live sessions and a private group where you share your assignments with 40 other classmates that are all getting access to the same unit 1 week at a time over 16 weeks. It's 12 units, but there's 3 break weeks just so everyone could kind of catch up, reflect on what they learned before going back at it. So at the time I'm posting this, the next one starts in a couple days on May 17th. If you can't make the live sessions, that's all right. I pre-record them, so you can still take advantage of all aspects of the course, even if the live sessions don't work out with your schedule. But I host one on a weekday evening and one on a weekend morning, just to accommodate different time zones, and you could choose which one works for you. I put a video together with some testimonials and a full kind of tour of everything that's inside the course, and I'll link that in the description as well. All right, everybody, happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Before I go, I just want to extend a big thank you to all of the POW Music patrons, and a special thank you to the following higher level patrons at patreon.com/POWmusic. Thank you to Alexander Pitterman, Andrew Vogel, Arwin Gu Zen, Cam Chernachan, Chris Watson, Chris Freeman, Daniel Small, Derek Mickle, Don Stringham, Donald James Grass, Joff Weathermax, Jim McCall, John Hartquist, John Cushman, Joseph McCarthy, Jurgen Schwartz, Newt Olive Wald, Noah Brand, Rich Mason, Ryan Helston, Sean Ellis, and Trampus Thompson. Thank you so much for making these lessons possible. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.